570 is the next caller. 570, you're there?
Hello?
Hi, your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Teresa, and I'm calling from the Poconos in Pennsylvania.
The Poconos in Pennsylvania. How can I help you today?
I'm not sure if today is a reading show or just for questions, so...
Is this the first time you've listened to the show?
No, I found you about a week ago, and I've listened to as much material as I possibly could since then. So I'm aware of how it works. And
This is a reading show, so I'd keep you on the line. What I need you to do is tell me about your first 10 minutes of the day, be as specific as possible when you first woke up, and I'm tuning into the infinite dream world that's you and the process you go to become the finite awake you. So give me about 45, 50 seconds of that out loud, and I'll tune into you.
Okay, great. I'll do the best I can because it was really fuzzy this morning. I woke up about 20 minutes late. So I first looked at my phone. I saw it was 6:47 a.m. and I yelled to my son, are you up yet? And he was. So it was, I think I ran down and I started to do laundry first because I had forgotten the night before. So it was kind of a rushed morning. What else did I do?
Did you dream that like?
I went and I don't remember dreaming. The only time I dreamt this week is when I turned off my phone, like I heard you say. That was the only time this week that I remember the dream.
Okay. For those people out there that are turning their phone off, make sure you turn off the router to your computer. It's a big broadcaster also. And as soon as you turn your phone off, if you experience a dream right away, there's your confirmation. For those of you that have very weird dreams, it's going to take a while for you to balance without those signals that are there. So just be aware that once you turn off the signals, your body's expecting those signals to be there. And if you're in a high enough energy state, you can have yourself a good dream. All right. For you today, the energies that are coming as the sun rises and falls each day, there's a whole new layer of energies that come forth and help us understand the process that we're going through. And the first layer of energy for you is called the burden basket of life. It's saying that you have been taking on the burdens of others for a little too much of a long time. And it's now that you used your own self-reliant inner willpower to empty the burden basket and to put back in only what is yours. Do you understand what I'm saying by what is only yours instead of taking up the burdens of others?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So do you have people that you've been taking burdens off of, enabling?
Yeah, my husband, my whole life, I think since we were 12, I've been so connected to him, and, it's been quite a journey, and my mom as well. Growing up with her, she had multiple personalities, and I was the little caretaker. So it was, I have been definitely taking on that my whole life.
Okay, so this calls for a time where you empty out the burdens of others and you assemble what are your own burdens, and then you begin a spiritual pilgrimage inside yourself. And it may require you to go away from where you live, even if it's for a weekend, even if it's a bed and breakfast 20 miles away. You need to begin this process on your own and not in the energy fields of others. This will be key for you to begin this because this is how you get back into the unity and wholeness that is you. The type of being you are, you're called a rostrum. And they're similar to Arcturian species, but they are very different. They come into the world as crystalline people. Like literally their bodies are of solid crystal, and yet there's an energetic muscle system that makes the crystalline body move. And they don't usually leave their planet unless they are bonded in some type of consciousness exploration vehicle. Well, several dozen of them will use their bodies to create a lattice structure that consciousness can project into. And then it can project this lattice-structured vehicle all over the universe and remote experience different parts of the universe up close. When you decided to come to this world, it's because you had already remote experienced parts of the future of the universe as it was expanding. The universe is ever expanding. When you first migrated into this universe, this free-willed universe, you came from a different kind of free-willed universe. And you had to figure out what this universe was about, and the only way to do it is to make vehicles of consciousness exploration And you did this for many tens of thousands of years, for a very long time. So you found the very edges of the ever-expanding universe and went around a spiral 3 times. And as you were coming back to the center of the universe, where the dense galaxies are, is where you began to understand that there was a layer of drama that you had completely and totally missed while you were at the very edges of the universe understanding consciousness. And that there were a very younger group of species that needed the aid of the high-powered, high-consciousness species. And this is where you got caught into the drama, just like everybody else in this part of the galaxy. And you came into it knowing fully that you were going to have to deal with some very difficult subjects. You know, everything from the domination and control aspect to living on multiple worlds. You know, generally throughout this whole process from 200,000 years ago to now, you haven't lived one life each lifetime. You've lived multiple lifetimes. In this lifetime, there's not one of you on the planet. There's several dozen of you. You understand what I'm saying? Completely.
I do. I do understand that. I always had this connection to Arcturian, even though I used to think it was crazy and I wanted nothing to do with it, but there was something there that made me keep studying it. And you say there's a similarity there, but a difference, correct?
There is a similarity, but there is a difference, yes. They're they're closely related because everything is about consciousness exploration and what type of physical skin suit you're going to wear for your consciousness exploration experience. And some people choose to have no physical body, only an energetic expression. The type of Arcturian science species that you were chose a crystalline body. Like your body was made of crystal, and all of the muscle structure was an energetic muscle structure, and that's how you created locomotion to interact with the various matrices here. When you came here to this world, it allowed you to function very differently, so you could have very hyper-focused souls who could accomplish tremendous amounts of things every lifetime. So you would be the star student that showed up at a Buddhist temple out of nowhere. You'd be the star student who walked into, Oxford at age 18, a country bumpkin, and score perfect scores on all the entrance exams. That's the type of life that you think over and over and over again. What's your life been like?
I had a very challenging life. I mean, as a child, I used to have visions, and I even had a vision before an accident that happened that had injured my tailbone, and they all ceased after that point. So I've always felt very different. Even my small son tells me he remembers floating in space before he was born. He told me that as a small toddler. So I really just, it was 2011, towards the end, that I really have been catapulted into an awakening. And it's just been so fast since that point to right now.
Well, I got a question for you. When you were growing up and you met your husband at a young age, did it feel absolutely right at the time, or was there any resistance?
Well, it's really funny how it worked. I had a one-day notice we were moving to a whole new state as a child. And my first day of school, I sat behind my husband. So I met him. He was the very first person I met, and we've had this connection ever since. And it hasn't always been the easiest one, but I feel just such a connection. Even when my mind says go, I can't. So it's very kind of strange how we met and how we've, been together this long. I feel like this person is my soul family, not necessarily my soul mate, but.
Well, I'll tell you, he is soul family. Why did you only have one day notice of moving?
My mom started having all these memories come back of childhood abuse, serious abuse. And that was my mom's way, I guess, of protecting us. And she said, okay, here we go. We're New Jersey Shore. And then all this.
We lost the caller. 570, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Oh, there we go. It's interesting how the calls just dropped right there, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is, huh?
Yeah. So, when you grew up, why did you leave? Your mother had an awakening to sexual abuse, serious abuse, and she moved you.
Yes.
And the first person you met after you moved was somebody that you are now married to.
Yes.
All right, that's a very interesting set of synchronistic events. I'm actually reading the Akashic record behind your mother and around the abusers. Yes. This was an abuse ring that she was around, and she needed to keep you away because she was also pregnant at that time too.
Okay.
Did you know that she was pregnant at that time?
I didn't, and there's a lot of things I don't know. Like I don't know how my father died. You know, there's a lot of. I just learned synchronicity, and now it's like, wow, my mind's blown looking back on my life. It's just a series of synchronicities that I've just
You're right. It's a series.
Of.
And this is the Arcturian collective subconsciously functioning through you. And I'm going to let you know, you're going to have to be ready for a lot more synchronistic events coming. Like a lot. You know, one of the things that you need to go on this inner vision quest by yourself. You need to tell the people around you why you're doing it. And if you can't actually tell them why, you have to keep enough of it to yourself and tell someone, because it's going to be a big change for you. You know, you have to realize what are the burdens of others. Okay? You know, what are the burdens of others?
I haven't spoken to my mom in years.
No?
I'm sorry.
That's fine that you haven't spoke with her, but during your personal spiritual pilgrimage, you know, it's going to be very important that you get sunlight, you get meditation time in. If you can do a fast, it would be very, very beneficial to you purging out all of this negative energy. Just so you know, when women are abused and they have children, no matter how good of a parent they are, they can be the best in the world, but that violence is still inside them if they've never purged it. And on a psychic level, the kids just know, and they do whatever they can do to take that energy away from you. And it's inevitable that it happens, that energy of abuse bleeds over onto the other children, even if there's never any physical harm done by the mother. It's just on an energy level. And that's what you need to get rid of, right, you know, between now and when you choose to do this. You know, go on the internet and do some research on how to do a fast. You know, go and get some crystals that can help you go into the dream time. You really want to step up you being the shaman away from your normal life. And then when you return to your normal life, you have to have a plan that you can put into play that makes sure you can get more spiritual time even though you're in your life.
Okay. Wow. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Do you have any other questions?
I'm really at a crossroads, and you certainly have shed an amazing amount of light on, you know, how I can go forward. Am I supposed to be healing other people?
The answer is yes, but to heal other people, you have to heal yourself first. You have to heal yourself just enough so you can heal others. And then it's a continuing process of self-healing and healing others. And mastering that skill is absolutely important to be, as a healer, learning a technique. Because once you start healing people, 1 people, 2 people, becomes 10, becomes 30, becomes 100. I've treated over 1,000 people in Reiki, and I've had tremendous experiences from them. You could have almost the exact same experience pattern I had with the hot hands, with literally pulling out soul wounds, doing psychic surgery. You know, by the time you're on your 30th person, not only will it be blatantly to every part of your soul that you can do this, but the responsibility comes in to keeping your body pure, clean, and ready to bring the pure focus that each person needs as you, their practitioner, bringing energy healing. So the answer is yes, you're supposed to be a healer, and it's time for you to put yourself in your own enforced way of making sure you're doing things that regenerate you, and you do them for fun and for free. So that the enforcement is just using your discipline of free will to say, I want to be able to experience healing on a bigger scale, and I want to be able to heal as many people as I can. And the prerequisite of that is having a healthy life where you're balancing your spiritual ways and the healings that you're doing. Regularly getting out in nature, regularly having a hobby that can even modify your spiritual talents, you know, becoming a jewelry maker or hemp wrapping necklaces with crystals in them. It'd be very good for you to build things with your hands, do art expressive things, and then begin that process of figuring out what kind of healer you want to be.
Wow, thank you very much. It all makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Did you listen to yesterday's show?
I listened to, with a woman, I listened to the first part before I fell asleep, and then I listened to the replay from the 28th last night.
Okay.
Revolution.
Yeah, if you go to the archives. It was
phenomenal. I related to every caller.
Yeah, this will be the 30th archive. There's a lady in a very, very similar process to you, and I described to her about the rearmoring of spiritual armor. And it would be very beneficial for you to listen to that one and the one before, which you just said you listened to the 28th one. All of those directly apply to you. There are many teachers that come out. Yeah.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Thank you so very much. I'm just drawn to, is there anything that I can say to my husband? He carries around this blackness inside.
Honestly, there's nothing you can say until he wants to. There's nothing you can say until he wants to change. Carrying around blackness, there are ways that you can deal with it, and that starts with changing the energy of your home. And change the energy of your home starts with smudging. Are you familiar with smudging?
I did it for the first time this morning.
Well, next time he's out of the house and everyone's out of the house, close all the windows in the house but one, and put an incense stick in each room or an incense cone in each room, and just let the whole house fill up with smoke. And then you're going to go around the house with a sage bundle or some other type of incense bundle, and you're going to talk out loud to your environment. I want all negative energy in this home removed. I want to return all the energy to a loving, flowing manner. And then you're literally going to go from room to room and force all the energy out the one open window. Okay?
Okay.
So when you're totally done with the process, open the rest of the windows in the house, let the house air out, close the windows, and then walk around the house and feel the house. You may need to do it a second, third, and fourth time to clear out some of the really rooted energies. Many people that carry around darkness are carrying around psychic parasites simply because they're around the television or the computer. And they just become festering grounds for these things.
Yes.
And if your husband would ever let you to put smudge smoke around him, and you can say in your mind that you want all energetic parasites removed from him, they will heed the call if you use your heart space energy behind those mental words.
Okay.
Okay? Well, I've got other callers waiting. I've got to move on.
Okay, thank you so very much, and I'm looking forward to the replay. I love your work, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.